Let's talk about missions. Let's walk you through what God is doing in our ministry. Journey with us to the mission fields. Allow us saturate your mind and hearts. Get up and close with our close to 2,000 missionaries serving in over 1,600 mission fields in 19 countries across the world. Let us share with you the challenges we face and the victories we've made through the power of God. Let us take you inside EMS.
Hello and good evening to all of you, our esteemed viewers all over the world. My name is Buture Habila and you are watching Inside EMS on Equa Television International. On this episode of Inside EMS, we're going to be bringing you insightful conversations with no other person than the captain of the ship, Reverend Mark Phillips, who is the director of the EMS of Equa. Reverend Mark Phillips is going to be sharing with us insights into the ongoing work of missions, the challenges, and so many other things on this episode. Also on this episode of Inside EMS, we're going to be bringing you up close and personal with our mission expedition to the Donkin Hills right in Taraba State. Now we have a number of mission stations all located up in the Donkin Hills, and we are going to be hearing from our missionaries as they talk about the challenges, the progress, and the work that needs to be done in these mission fields. Stay tuned while we go on a short break.
For over 70 years, EMS has been making concerted efforts to provide essential services in form of healthcare, education, safe drinking water, and capacity building initiatives to disadvantaged communities and people who have been systematically discriminated on the grounds of their ethnicity, religion, and gender, as well as to eternally displaced persons who have been adversely affected due to reoccurring insurgencies, political crises, and the general turmoil the country has endured over the years.
We have been facing a lot of challenges in terms of Christians being persecuted, our churches being burnt, and so many people killed.
Even in this insurgency, many are coming to Christ.
Nigeria has suffered a great deal for 13 years and counting. Her people have been afflicted with pain and death by insurgency. Evil has become the order of the day.
Christians were attacked here and practically destroyed. You can see these are food items. I don't know if you can see the picture there. This is corn. You can see a part of this. All this, how these rooms were like a store for corn and they were destroyed. Many houses were burned on the other side of the village.
Persecution to the believers has not been a new thing. But despite persecution, God has been helping us to use these platforms of church planting.
These insurgencies have made many communities run away from their location.
Many have fled their ancestral homes in search of refuge in other states and neighboring countries. The harsh reality of life hits hard, and many have lost hope.
The influx of northerners, unbelievers who are not Christians, to the southwest, to the southeast, and to all parts of the country in search of succor, in search of food, in search of safety because of the ongoing insurgency.
Although it is an unfortunate situation, but God turned around to good what the devil meant for evil.
We had Muslims and Christians and animists and all settling in one place. This is just so amazing. And our hope is that we are able to plant churches, and believe me, I've seen the opportunities so much. I just feel feel that we should just stay back here and do nothing but just reach out to these people. If you look at their living conditions, it's very terrible. They are just trying to pick up. You can see new structures emerging. They start from huts of thatch roof, and then they begin to mold blocks and begin to put roof, at the same time looking for food to take care of their families. And there are just vast churches, no water, no school, nothing, just virtually nothing. They are starting from the scratch. This is one of the Fulani camps we are right now. This is the 6th day of our visit. Before now, we have visited so many camps, and this afternoon and through the week, we are going to visit several other camps.
God had turned what the devil meant for evil for good, and God had taken out these set of people from their communities, which are naturally hostile to the gospel, to a new settlement that is more convenient to hear the gospel and receive Christ as their personal Lord and Savior.
What all of us missed in the fight against the enemy is that as the more the enemy is fighting us, the more the opportunities he present before us. Now, the enemy thought he was going to persecute Christians and kill them, and Christianity is growing stronger and stronger in Nigeria. Now, secondly, it has emboldened many of us to preach the gospel like never before.
After the visit to the Southwest, the EMS of Ekwa started strategizing on how to reach out to the new communities with the good news, and also to re-evangelize to the people of the Southwest. It was then that the idea of the Southwest Saturation Campaign was birthed.
The Saturation Campaign is a great initiative of EMS, and that's what we should be thinking of. There are so many of our unreached people's group that in their traditional place of residence will be so difficult to reach.
So remember, the reason why we started doing this was because we really wanted to reach the corner with the gospel, and we discovered that God has opened an opportunity for us to reach the corner with the gospel. And one of those opportunities is that He has moved several Fulani and Hausa and all tribes to the Southwest. And in a bit, and we felt like, okay, we can just go there, reach them with the gospel, and they in turn can come back and reach their people.
The EMS of Ekwa took a team of close to 1,000 volunteers from all over the country and all spheres of life, including medical personnel, youth, clergymen, media personnel, businessmen and women, to saturate the Southwest with the gospel of salvation.
Since I started this work in Ekwa, I have never seen this before. I bought 5 to 6 vehicles from Kaduna State. Yesterday night, people from Kebbi. Wow. Oh, thank God for Jesus. Thank God for the grace.
Da na dube mu a matsayinmu na Hausawa, Allah ya yi mana alheri, manisanta da Allah, amma ga ceto ya zo gida. Ubangiji ya zaɓe mu ya ba mu ceton, yau kuma mu ne muke fita mu gaya wa waɗansu mutane labarin Yesu.
The outreach featured one-on-one and house-to-house evangelism, the Jesus Phone, medical outreach.
And we have made tremendous progress. Just last year, we started the saturation campaign.
God blessed our cause with a bountiful harvest, and souls were won for the kingdom of heaven.
Last year, we had 66 churches planted, and then we have been able to plant 58 missionaries in these 66 churches, and currently they are doing well, and more churches are springing up in the process. At this moment, we have about over 100 to 160 new mission fields that needs missionaries.
Our work has just begun.
Please join us as we continue these saturation campaigns and bring glory to God. Thank you.
Welcome back from the short break. Let me now take you right into the office of the EMS Director, Reverend Mark Phillips, as he talks about missions. My name is Baturi Habila, and today on the program we have no other person than the captain of the ship, the director of EMS, Reverend Mark Phillips. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, sir.
Right.
It's been quite a while since we had you in our studios, and I'm sure our viewers are excited and they'll love to hear what you have to tell us today. So let's get started right away. You've been the director of this very important organization for, say, 3 years now.
Yes, 3 years.
So, sir, can you just reintroduce yourself and tell our viewers what your role is as the director of the EMS of Ekwa?
Okay, thank you for having me on this program. I've been looking forward to be part of this for a very long time, but like you know, this road is very fast, but God has been faithful all through these years, these 3 years. I'll be 3 years actually by December. So I just have about 2 or 3 months to complete the 3 years. My name is Mark Phillips, as you know, and I'm from Kebbi State. I'm the EMS Director, and I started being, I came to this office in January 2001, and like I said, this is almost 3 years, and it has been 3 years of a roller coaster of experiences. It's tough, it's smooth, it is sweet, it is everything in one basket, and but by and large, I can just conclude that it has been one sweet, amazing journey. And I'm here to share some of the challenges and the successes, the stakes that we have and all that we have. And it's been such a blessing having you. I've seen the mass number of all of you at the background being part of what we are doing has been a major source of inspiration. I know I equally came at a critical time. The director before me also had very critical moments, but God is helping us gradually.
So just like you started hinting,
Yeah.
you came on board at a time when EMS was facing great difficulties.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that you were able to surmount some of the challenges that you faced when you came on board. So, sir, can you just share with us some of the things you were able to achieve, some of your accomplishments during your time as director?
Okay, so first of all, let's begin with the challenges. The first is that the director before me had challenges of funding. We're not able to pay missionary pensions and liabilities to the tune of over 300 million. I think about 200 million or that thereabouts, but there was a backlog of debt for pensions and for other investment of the missionaries that was staring us in the face. I know the debt keeps increasing by the month. So each month the debt increases. And then when I took over from him, it was looking like everything is bleak with the growing insurgencies, the economic meltdown, and all the issues of COVID-19. And all of that just worked to make it very, very difficult for all of us to move. But we trusted God and we began to pray and consult and see what we can improve. We took a bold step and increased missionary salaries. I think that was about August in 2001. And then that was equally the same time we launched the Golden Supporter Initiative. Our hope is that we can raise within a very short time at least 400,000 EQUA members and non-EQUA members who will give us a minimum of 5,000 naira, and that will give us enough to pay the debts and then also do a lot of mission work. But the Golden Supporter is still on, but it has not really brought what we thought it will bring. And then, though we increase salaries, as we increase salaries, our debt also our debt increase. So we are just going on a skydive of indebtedness. We introduced the Golden Supporter, and then later we came up with mission retreats that we bring tremendous awareness about what we are doing, and then we brought the horseshoe dinner that we are currently doing, and then the breakfast on the marble that we are currently doing. And all of this was was just in a bid to help the missionaries. By 2002, we sat down and discovered that our debt is really being huge. And so we decided that, okay, we are going to look at the end of 2002 and see how the Golden Supporter fared and see how our supporters are faring. At the same time, this is when people are being killed, communities are being raided, and people are losing their jobs. Remember the COVID-19 and then the cashless policy of last year, and all of that just combined to make everything very difficult. And then by this year, we have to adjust the salary of missionaries. It is not as bad as it were, but it is not as good as we introduced in August 2021. And right now, I can confidently tell you that around July, August this year, we are owing some missionaries up to 6 months, some up to 3 months, 4 months. But right now, we have cleared most of it. We only have a few missionaries that have not collected for September, which is just like a few weeks away. And then a very few of them also have not collected for August. But we hope that before the end of the year, we should close this gap. God has been faithful. We do one-on-one. I've spoken in many churches. I've organized many small programs. I've traveled within the country. I've equally traveled outside the country to talk to people. And one of the greatest things we did was twice now I've been to the US to help talk to ECWA members and non-ECWA members, basically to support EMS. And I can congratulate also say that we now have an account. We have a 501 account in the US where anybody can donate to EMS. And in Nigeria, our support base is growing. Now, you will also have to understand that we lost more than close to 1,000 supporters in the last 3 years because of death, insurgency, some retirement, and the economic crunch just made some supporters withdraw. But as we are losing, we are also gaining. But we thank God for where we are today, and we are happy that we can do this. This is equally when we started the EMS Today on ECWA TV, just to bring awareness to everybody so that people will know what we are doing. You will have a feel of what we are doing, and you understand the scope of where we are going. We also got the saturation campaigns where we're able to plant several churches. Last year we planted 66 churches. I think altogether we have about 160 churches that need missionaries right now, new mission fields, and we're only able to plant 58. By next year, we are going to 3 major campaigns, and we keep planting churches by the grace of God. And then we have missionaries in crisis. Many of our missionaries are killed, and then that leaves us with the task of taking care of their families. I launched the grinding machine project where many missionary widows who lost their husbands as a result of the insurgencies or even for any natural causes, that these missionaries were helped with grinding machines. We've had also some other interventions by giving them cash, paying scholarships and all of that. It has been one experience, and I hope that we can improve upon this in the coming years.
Wow, that's very impressive, sir.
Yeah.
So I just want to digress a little bit.
Okay.
When the Golden Supporter Funding Initiative was launched in 2021, it was full of fanfare and excitement. Yeah. But along the line, I think that most of the aim of the Golden Supporter has not been fully achieved. Yes. So can you give us an idea of why this is so?
It's very difficult to really pin it. I don't want to go into blame games, but I think the entire system is to be blamed, and that begins from me. What did I do that I should have done? I think probably I didn't inject the right energy, even though I know we've traveled far and wide in different DCCs, and I think I've visited over 80% of the DCCs of ECWA, just about Golden Supporter. And then it trickles down also to our staff, EMS staff, the coordinators, and all of us here. What did we not do? And then also it goes back to the pastors and mission, and then the churches and the donors themselves. Now, it has not really been a very bad, clearly, but what we thought is that we'll be able to raise at least 100,000 people. But right now, like this year, we've been able only to raise 35 million in 1 year. Now, if you notice, the aim is to raise 5 billion. And in the immediate, we wanted to raise at least 1 billion from that, because the total indebtedness of EMS is about 2.5 billion naira. Salaries, with the new increment we had, we take about 1.8 billion naira. And so if you raise 35 million, our salaries is over 80 million. And if you raise 35 million in a year, you find that what you raise is not even able to pay the missionary salaries of even just 1 month. Now you're talking about inadequate follow-up, and then lack of commitment from those who have taken that decision. And then, so I think the whole system, all of us actually have to be blamed. We've not raised considerable amount from that angle. Yeah.
So essentially what you're saying is that the Golden Supporter is still viable and
yeah, it's still viable. That is still whole. Okay. That is still whole.
Wow. We have been talking to Reverend Mark Phillips, the EMS Director. Thank you, viewers, for staying tuned. We are going to go on a short break. When we resume, we'll continue with the conversation.
It was in the 50s that one of the missionaries teaching at Titcomb College prophesied that a time is coming that we are going to have many visitors, and pleading with us that when they come, we must welcome them with the gospel of Jesus Christ.
We saw an influx of northerners. And people call us to tell us that they are settling all over this landscape of Southwest.
Nigeria has suffered a great deal for 13 years and counting. Her people have been afflicted with pain and death by insurgency. Evil has become the order of the day.
Persecution to the believers has not been a new thing. But despite persecution, God has been helping us to use these platforms of church planting.
These insurgencies have made many communities run away from their location.
Many have fled their ancestral homes in search of refuge in other states and neighboring countries. The harsh reality of life hits hard, and many have lost hope.
The influx of northerners, unbelievers who are not Christians, to the southwest, to the southeast, and to all parts of the country in search of succor, in search of food, in search of safety because of the ongoing insurgency.
Although it is an unfortunate situation, but God turned around to good what the devil meant for evil.
We have Muslims and Christians and animists and all settling in one place. This is just so amazing. And our hope is that we are able to plant churches, and believe me, I've seen the opportunities so much. I just feel that we should just stay back here and do nothing but just reach out to these people. If you look at their living conditions, it's very terrible. They are just trying to pick up. You can see new structures emerging. They start from huts of thatch roof, and then they begin to mold blocks and begin to put roof, at the same time looking for food to take care of their families.
God has capitalized on the ongoing insurgencies to isolate the core northerners in a non-hostile environment where we can reach them with the gospel and win and disciple them for Christ.
If we don't evangelize these people are a time bomb.
The communities in which they live are far hidden in the bushes. One would never guess there would be inhabitants living there, far away from civilization. However, a significant number settled among the Yoruba natives.
Not only Yoruba, people from the north are coming down.
Yes, we've seen large number of villages.
Trooping down to my village.
EMS embarked on a 2-week survey to affirm the claims of the call that came through from the southwest.
EMS department, under the leadership of the director, Reverend Dudu Elisha, you are welcome to our territory here.
He promised me that he was coming back again, and when he comes, he will visit many places, and he does that. Today I'm happy.
Tí mò ń sọ ni wípé mo dúpẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí irú ètò irú èrò báyìí kó wá sọ́kàn àwọn olórí wa lókè ní Jos, tí wọ́n gbé irú ìrere tó lágbára èyí tó pa gbogbo wa pọ̀ tá a fi wà níhìn àyìn Ọlọ́run. Irú rẹ̀ ò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí o, ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lákòókò tiwa. so a dúpẹ́.
The EMS of Ekwa started strategizing on how to reach out to the new communities with the good news and also to re-evangelize to the people of the Southwest. It was then that the idea of the Southwest Saturation Campaign was birthed.
The saturation campaign is a great initiative of EMS. And that's what we should be thinking of. There are so many of our unreached people's group that in their traditional place of residence will be so difficult to reach.
So remember, the reason why we started doing this was because we really wanted to reach the corner with the gospel, and we discovered that God has opened an opportunity for us to reach the corner with the gospel. And one of those opportunities is that He has moved several Fulani and Hausa and all tribes to the Southwest.
The EMS of Ekwa took a team of close to 1,000 volunteers from all over the country and all spheres of life, including medical personnel, youth, clergymen, media personnel, businessmen and women, to saturate the Southwest with the gospel of salvation.
Since I started this work in Ekwa, I've never seen this before. I bought 5 to 6 vehicles from Kaduna State. Yesterday night, people from Kebbi. Wow. Oh, thank God for Jesus. Thank God for the grace.
The outreach featured one-on-one and house-to-house evangelism, the Jesus Forum, medical outreach.
And we have made tremendous progress just last year that we started the saturation campaign.
God blessed our cause with a bountiful harvest, and souls were won for the kingdom of heaven.
When we had the first outreach, it was very interesting to see how people were coming to Christ in large numbers.
Over 6,000 converts were recorded during the course of the outreach.
Last year we had 66 churches planted, and then we have been able to plant 58 missionaries in these 66 churches, and currently they are doing well, and more churches are springing up in the process. At this moment we have about over 100 to 160 new mission fields that needs missionaries.
Our work has just begun.
Welcome back from the break. So, sir, we have been talking about some of the successes and challenges and the strategies that you have employed so far to overcome some of these enormous challenges that you have faced while you came on board as the EMS Director. Now, there's this new initiative that you have just introduced, and I want you to talk about it. That is the One Big Donation. Okay. So I want you to tell us what is the rationale behind this initiative and what are the benefits of participating in it.
Okay, so to talk about this initiative will mean, first of all, to thank all the rank and file of EQUA and non-EQUA members who have supported us these past 3 years. The campaign we carried, we had on Golden Supporter and different platforms. You came strong for us, and your donation has been tremendous. The last mission week was very good. The first mission week was very good. This last mission week was very good. And then this is why the idea of One Big Donation came in. I sat down and prayed and asked God, how can you help us to bridge this gap? And I strongly sense God leading. I say, take the bull by the horn. Don't procrastinate this debt. Talk about it now. You know, you imagine like somebody who is about to be drowned, right? And then we are facing the situation where EMS will drown or will sink. And then you are swimming close to the riverbank. And then you get so close to the riverbank, just a touching edge. Now, that is where we are right now. You guys out there have supported EMS this past 3 years in the most fantastic way. We are very close to getting out of the woods. But you know, the reason why of One Big Donation is that we have to do something radical. It is said that desperate situations require desperate measures. This is the time to act right now. So this is where the idea is coming from. If we don't do something now, will go back again. Because it came to me this way, and I imagine that it will also come to every single person that way, I decided that I'm going to give one salary. Actually, I'm giving 108% of my income, my salary, 108%. And then, since I'm the one that started this, I don't want to ask you to do it, and when I don't do it myself. So 108, right, percent of my salary is given to this. If we can do this, believe me, if every EQUA member can just close his eyes right now and give us one big donation, believe me, we will end this. Now, one big donation to someone may be just 1,000 naira, but to someone it will be 100 million naira. So look at the gap of 1,000 to 100 million, and I think all of us in EQUA, we are in between. We are in between this gap. So what is big to you? Can you make that sacrifice from now to 31st of December and give us one big donation? That is number one. Number two, by January 1 to December 31st, 2024, what do? We now start building very strong financial structures in this year. Then by January 2025, we now review the salaries of EMS missionaries, and then imagine missionaries have all that they deserve as far as EQUA salary conditions, work conditions are concerned. Imagine all of them don't have to expose themselves to extreme conditions to take care of their families. Imagine they can pay school fees. Imagine missionaries can be happy, and imagine that we can recruit all the missionaries we need. This is the roadmap we are looking for. So the one big donation ends by 31st December. You continue your donations through 2024. We solidify our financial structure, and then by 2025, for me, what I see is that a total financial emancipation of EMS missionaries from all the financial quagmire, from all the financial mess, and then we'll all be happy all together. And I think we can do it. And that is why we are doing this campaign.
That was Reverend Mark Phillips, the EMS Director, talking about his time in EMS and the wonderful work of missions that he has been spearheading over these 3 years. Now, next we'll take you to the Duncan Hills. Watch out for this exciting and impactful mission experience. We are here at the base of the famous Duncan Hills that is inhabited by the Mumue tribes of Taraba State. We are about to begin our ascent to the top of these hills to supervise 4 of our mission stations that are located in between these hills to monitor the progress of the work of missions that is going on there. Follow us. I've never ever been to any place like this in my whole life. Look at the valley, look at the canyon, look at everything. I can't believe that I'm going up this great mountain. Oh my goodness. It is going to be a terrific experience. In fact, right now it is surreal, and I'm feeling very out by the mere idea that we are climbing up this mountain, we are climbing up this hill. It is something that has never been experienced before. As we set out on our journey, the enormity of our tasks began to hit us. The terrain was harsh, rough, and quite honestly terrifying. We have just arrived at Yuru community, where we've been received by the residents of this community, this small community, and they offered us water to quench our thirst. We are still going up the mountain, and we have not even begun our ascent up the mountain. We're still here at Yuru community. We are taking a break to rest for a few minutes before we continue with this epic journey up the Duncan Hills. Hello, so we have begun our ascent up the Duncan Hill properly. We've not gone halfway, we've not even gone a quarter, but we're already tired, we're exhausted, we're sweating, and I can't even stand on my feet. Likewise, my colleagues, we're all sitting down because we're tired. We need to catch our breath before we continue. But regardless of anything that happens here, we're going to get to the top by the grace of God. Thank you.
This is just 2 hours 30 minutes in our journey, and man, we have exhaust. And we have.
You underestimate this donkey journey.
Roland Bingham, Thomas Kent. And what's the other one, Seth? Amanta. And go on. Just to carry the gospel to us. They suffer. Us not to just go survey. Or even not even survey. Just to go, just to visit a mission field.
Establish the station.
And we are young men and this tired. The Lord is our muzzle. We are still pushing anyway. We are moving at 2 meters per hour. This speed. Sai ka tambaya ashe baka ji kishin ruwa ba. Ashe baka ji kishin ruwa ba tunda tambaya kake yi. Yana warin fisarin sai shi saniya. Kar ka sha mana.
After about 8 hours of climbing rugged steep hills, we arrived at Donkolong, a nucleated settlement comprised of a few houses packed together closely and protected with fences of stones skillfully placed one on top of the other. So we have finally arrived at Donkolo EMS Mission Station. Now, Donkolo EMS Mission Station is just one out of the 4 mission stations that we have scheduled to visit on this epic mission expedition. Now, Donkolo Mission Station, as you can see, is just a community of some of the inhabitants. They are all over the place. If you see, their houses are over here, and this is the church. The church is manned or is handled by the missionary who is stationed here, and his name is Pastor Danjuma Abare. He has been here for 2 years now, and work is going and significant progress is being made in the work of missions. You know, we started this journey around 10:30 a.m. and we just arrived by 5:30 p.m. Long hours of going uphill, downhill, and we didn't think we were going to make it. At some point, we thought of going back because it was a really difficult, arduous journey. So as you can see, there is every sign of exhaustion on the faces of our colleagues that are just here. Mr. Tio, for example, he's tired. He cannot even stay on his feet. He's lying down. Mr. Ibrahim, he had a problem with his leg. He strained his leg. And of course, Mr. Ima has to pull off his dress because he's feeling so hot. In fact, David, who is over handling the camera, look at him, just look at him. Look at how clean we started this journey, but he's looking so rough right now. It's all because, it's all for the sake of the gospel. It's all for the sake of the gospel. Now we're going to have a little chat with the missionary who is taking care of this mission field, who is taking care of the little flock that God has entrusted in his hand. And surprisingly, this is his first mission station. Right from his theological training, the first place he was brought to serve is here at Donkolo. Right now I'm going to bring in Pastor Danjuma Abare, who is going to tell us more about Donkolo Mission Station.
To da farko dai ina godiya wa Allah domin wannan zarafi da na samu. Kamar yadda na faɗa da farko, ni ne mai suna Pastor Danjuma Abare, wadda ina aiki a wannan station ta Donkolon. Kusan wannan shine station na farko wadda na fara aiki a nan. Kuma a gaskiya kamar yadda na zo ni na samu wurin, to kamar da farko ina gani abin ba zai je ba, to har yanzu na zo abun ya riga ya bi jiki. To gaskiya ina gode Allah domin yana taimakona a wannan wuri duk da ba sauki, amma na da taimakon Allah muna samun nasara a cikin wannan aiki da muke yi. To gaskiya samun kaina a wannan wuri gaskiya ni ma ban sammanci nan samu kaina a wannan wuri ba, saboda tun da nake na yi tafiya mai nisa na zagaye state da yawa, amma na ban taba zuwa Taraba ba. To amma saboda wannan aiki da muka je muka yi orientation aka dan ce mu dawo gida kafin nan a neme mu, muka zo mun yi watanni 2 sai ga kira. To aka kira aka ce fa an posting ɗina a Taraba. Na ce to shi kenan. Muka kamo anya muka zo Taraba, mun je mun yi report a office. To daga can sai aka ce mana ba gaya mana ma ga inda za mu je ba. Sai aka ce mu shiga mota, muka shigo Ilox. Muna tafowa muna ta bin kwalta, mu bi nan mu shiga nan, muna ɗauka ko za a saukar da mu a can ne. Sai muka zo Zin, muka ce mana mun iso Zin, muka ce to muna ga kowa ɗan kauyen Zin ne za a ajiye mu, muka fita cikin Zin. Sai aka ce yanzu fa muna Monki. A'a, muka ce to muna gani kaman ko a Monkin ne za a ajiye mu. A ce to yanzu a nemi masu mashuna a karaso da mu Gamfu. Muka ce to tun da yanzu kam an iso mashuna, watakila za mu zo station ɗin da za a ajiye mu. Muka zo Gamfu aka ce to ku huta na awa 2 kafin nan a ci gaba da tafiya. To gaskiya daga Gamfu muka kamo tafiya, ina ga lokacin mun taso a Gamfu karfe 5 na yamma, amma kafin nan mu iso nan, kafin nan mu isa Bante mun iso karfe 4 na asuba, wanda ba mu same shi da sauki ba. Ina ga ɗaya daga cikin wanda muka tafo da shi, shi arma ya fara karaya, wanda saboda wahalan tafiya da kuma yanda ya ga wurin. To amma duka da taimakon Allah mun zo mun saba, yanzu har muna jin zaman wurin ma ba wani matsala. To gaskiya samun kanmu a wannan wuri ina ga shirin Allah ne, da kuma Allah ya riga ya shirya za mu kasance a wannan wuri. Gaskiya aiki yana ci gaba, domin idan mun duba daga inda muka zo, daga inda muka samu da kuma inda mun ɗaura, gaskiya akwai ci gaba. Ko da membobi da muke tare da su, lokacin da na zo akwai waɗanda ina ga kamar ba su da kan ba da attention ɗinsu a coci ɗin. To amma yanzu da taimakon Allah sun dawo da hankalinsu, muna tafiya tare. Kuma wurin duk waɗansu abubuwa da aka tsara na ikkilisiya suna kokarin yin biyayya. To sai dai matsala ko kuma challenges ɗin da muke samu a wannan wuri shine, na ɗaya akwai wannan addini na Musulunci wanda ya zamanto kaman ya so ya yi ƙarfi a wannan wuri. To ko da mutane da muke tare da su yawancin sukan yi dabara su ruɗe su sai su koma wannan addinin, da shike wannan addinin shine addinin da ya riga ya kafu a wannan wuri. To amma duk da haka ina ga da taimakon Allah in dai muna nan za su gane. To amma muna bukata, ya kamata idan akwai wani abin da za a iya yi, ko da kamar matasa da yara da suna tasowa da kuma matasa da sun tashi, saboda a taimake su su iya samun wannan ceto kamar yadda shine makasudin zuwanmu wannan wuri. To ina ga ko da can sama ma za su iya taimaka mana da wannan. To gaskiya shine ainihin challenge da muke bukata. Kuma ko da kamar 'yan mata da muna tare da su, idan sun girma lokacin aure ya yi, samun samare wanda suka zamanto Christian yakan zamanto da wahala, wanda yakan sa su koma su a wuri Muslim. To ina ga wannan challenges su ne wayanda muke facing a wannan wuri. Hanyoyi da suke bi kamar nan, da shike ba wani abu bane wanda, ko ba kuɗi ne ko kuma ba wani abu da ya zamanto na zamani wanda ake mora ba. Ina ga da shike akwai wayanda suka zama makiyaya Fulani, to su ne sukan ɗauki yaran, idan sun ga yaro sai su ce to za su ɗauke shi kiwo. Idan ya je wannan kiwon sai a je a musulunta, sai a ce to in zai yi kiwon dole sai ya yi musulunci, to daga wurin sai ya kama yin musulunci. To shine method ɗin da ake bi ake musuluntar da mutane. Gaskiya abin da yake karfafa ni shine wani lokaci kam idan na zauna na yi lissafi ni kaɗai, nakan ce gara ma na koma gida. To amma idan na dubi waɗannan mutane da suka karɓi Yesu sannan suka mika kai suna biyayya, to sai na ce ya kamata a ce dai komin wahala in zauna saboda rayukan waɗannan mutane. Shi ne abin da yake karfafa ni, amma duk da cewa da wahalan nan da komai, amma ina duban rayukan waɗanda suka karɓi Yesu, shi ne kawai yake karfafa ni. To ina ga bisa ga nawa ina gani akwai abubuwan da zai iya taimaka masu wurin girman ruhaniya da kuma su ya inganta wannan wuri. Kamar na farko abin da dai muke fama da shi a wannan wuri shine akwai rashin karatu, domin dukan waɗanda muke tare da su za ka samu kalilan ne wayanda suka iya karatu. Wayanda suka iya karatu sai waɗanda fastoci da suka zo suka kai su waje suka je suka yi karatun, to su ne za su iya karatu. Wanda kuma wannan aiki yana so idan da so samu ne abin da ake yi mutum yana karantawa. To gaskiya rashin karatu ina ga yana ɗaya daga cikin abin da yana ɗan taka birki ko kuma yana ana girman ruhaniyan, domin idan ana faɗi ne kawai mutum baya karantawa to yakan zamanto da wahala. Ina ga anya na farko da za a iya taimakawa girman ruhaniyan a wannan wuri shine idan akwai anya da za a bi a kafa ko da makaranta wanda zai zamanto yana taimakawa ana koyarwa, yara suna fahimta manyan ma suna fahimta, to ina ga zai taimaka wurin girman ruhaniya idan ana faɗin abun suna karantawa su ma suna ji. A inji, akwai inji da shekarun baya da an bayar a wannan station gaba ɗaya, to ina ga a station hudun nan wannan station ɗin ne dai wanda har yanzu injin ɗin yana existing. Sauran station ɗin nan duka injin ɗin baya aiki yanzu. To amma ana fama wani lokaci idan abun bai samu ba akan yi niƙan da hannu, akan yi daka kamar yanzu da aka shiga canjin kuɗin nan, to mai ya zamanto ya yi wuta sai dai daka. To wani lokaci idan mai ya yi sauki mukan samu a sayo mai a yi niƙa, in kuma mai bai yi sauki ba akan yi daka da niƙa a hannu. To gaskiya ruwan sha kam gaskiya ba mu samun matsala da ruwan sha, domin duka duwatsun nan ni ma da na zo sai a lissafi na kenan ina za a samu ruwa, sai da na ɗan juma a hankali ina bincike sai na ga duka duwatsun nan ruwa ne kawai. Yanzu nan akwai inda ruwa yana gudana a ƙasa, nan baya inda ake ɗibowa shi ma ruwa ne baya yankewa tun daga damuna in ya faɗo har wani damuna zai zo ya samu ruwa. To gaskiya matsalar ruwa kam a dutsen nan ba mu da shi. To gaskiya kamar ni kam tun da na zo da kuma tambaya da na yi ban ji ruwan ya kawo illa ma waɗansu ko kuma akwai lokacin da ruwan ya kawo illa ma wani ko wani ya je asibiti an gwada an ce matsala daga ruwa ne. A'a.
It is a well-known fact that missions and evangelism plays a very great impact on the society and in the world in general. And in this village of Donkolo, missions has been playing a very significant role in transforming the lives of the members of this community. It is their only link to modern civilization. It is their only link to the outside world. This is how they get to know what is happening in the world through missions and evangelism. For instance, the coming of EMS in this mission station several years ago has helped a lot of youths in this community to go out to the outside world and be transformed to become profitable citizens in the society. Earlier, I was talking about someone that we met on the road who also helped to bring our things to this very community. Their house is just, well, in the language of the people, is just a little bit far from here, but it is actually very far in our own understanding. His name is
Mr. Ibrahim Mahmouda.
Ibrahim Mahmouda. Ibrahim Mahmouda has gone out to other parts of Taraba. He has completed his NCE studies and he's back in the community to help his parents, help his relatives with different kinds of things that they need to learn in order to, help their lives. So Ibrahim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, I want to say thank God because of this opportunity given to me. This man of God met me. I was actually not staying here in this village because I just came to help my parents and some people that are living in the community for 1 and 2 days because before going back to where I am staying. So this place, like we that we have been here, we thank God because of our life, because it is only because of missionaries that came here that help our lives, and today we have become something in the community that we can talk, and our parents and some of our relatives, they can hear from us. So we thank God because of this opportunity given to us. Truly mission is working here, and I want to request this to our people that we have need here, especially the need of transforming the life of our youth by taking them out from this place, because if not in this place, in this way, we cannot, our youth cannot be able to become what God has prepared for their life, because of some religions that have already been here before the coming of the mission here. So we need help in some various ways that our men of God can help us.
So, Mr. Ibrahim, when did you leave the village to go out for your studies?
I live here over 17 years now. I have been in Gombe State for over 10 years and also in Bauchi State for over 3 years. So I have finished my studies there. So I am now living in Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State.
This is the village center, and there are just a few houses here, even though the other members of the community are located some distances away from here. But for us in EMS, even just one soul is important. If we win just one soul for Christ, that is enough. And we are not talking about just one soul. There are hundreds of these people in this community, and we're hoping that by the work that EMS is doing in this village, we're going to win as many souls as possible for the kingdom of God. Just like the shepherd who went to look for one sheep, left the 99 sheep to go and look for just one. Just one soul matters in God's kingdom. So we'll do everything in our power to see that we win as many souls for the kingdom of God. Hello viewers, welcome back from the Duncan Hills. I'm sure that you have seen with your own eyes the important work that the EMS of Ekwa is spearheading in the Duncan Hills. You've heard from our missionaries and their experiences, and we hope that these stories from the mission field will incite you, will inspire you to support the work of EMS. Viewers, I'm afraid this is the much that we can take on this episode of Inside EMS. Stay tuned, same time next week for another interesting package of the program. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms at EMS of Ekwa. For now, goodbye and God bless you.